I'm in the latter part of my career, and there won't be that many games left. You know, when you're in college or in high school, you don't think about it. You just play. Well, that's what I'm doing now. He doesn't care about a whole lot. He doesn't care about money and stats and all things like that. He cares about what his teammates think of him. For the Green Bay Packers, not having Brett, I mean, it's like having peanut butter without jelly. It just doesn't go.
A magnificent throw.
For me, it's simple. You just go out and you lead by example. You play hard, you practice hard, you study hard, and then when you're called upon, that's why they pay you the big bucks. You go out and do your job. I personally believe there's nothing better.
Chicago's been home, sweet home to pro football's Bears since 1921. And during that time, they formed one half of the NFL's most bitter and celebrated rivalry. Tonight, for a league record 160th time, the Green Bay Packers and the Chicago Bears get it on. Good evening, everybody. I'm Mike Patrick. It's great to have you with us. Monday's loss to Carolina left the Packers at 5-7 and probably out of the playoffs. Coach Mike Sherman says he remains hopeful. Stranger things have happened. Well, Mike, not many. The Bears have been out of it for a long time. They're now 3-9. But one of the bright spots in an otherwise disappointing season, at least the last few weeks, Paul and Joe, has been the play of that Bears defense.
And, Mike, defense has been the foundation of the Bears ever since they've been the Chicago Bears. And, Joe, we're talking hard-nosed, tough linebackers. Dick Butkus, Mike Singletary. And now they've got a rookie in the middle, Brian Urlacher.
And the amazing thing about him, here's a kid that's never played middle linebacker. In college his last 2 years, he was a defensive back. They started him outside backer here. Then they moved him to a middle. He's playing like a Pro Bowler, Paul. He's a guy now, I believe, is the reason why this defense is playing so well.
Dick Duran told us yesterday he is tougher, bigger, faster, stronger than any linebacker he has ever seen.
Paul, I can't wait to see what happens when he really figures out what he's doing.
On the other side of the ball, we have a quarterback that plays like a linebacker. All year long, Brett Favre has been fighting injuries and drop passes. And even though the Packers probably won't go to the playoffs, Joe, Favre is playing as tough as he's ever played.
You know, but he's a different Brett Favre. He isn't the guy we've seen go down the field. He's had to protect this offense. They're young, they're inexperienced. I think that's going to change tonight, though. I think we see the old Brett Favre, the guy that runs around and fires it down the field. And, Michael, he's got to bring in an old friend to be a part of this offense again tonight, Antonio Freeman.
Thanks, guys. The series started in 1921. Tonight they go at it for the 160th time. Linebacker Brian Urlacher.
All right, thanks, Mike. Brian, tonight you're starting your 11th game in the National Football League. What do you credit the most for your ability to be an impact player at a position you never played before?
I just think the way I play, I try to run around all the time and play full speed. I got taught that in college, and I just tried to carry that over, and it's worked out pretty good for me so far.
Now, during Week 5, you got your very first taste of this rivalry. What do you take from that game that has helped you to prepare for action tonight?
No, we did some things that confused them that time, and hopefully we can do that tonight. I know they're going to adjust, but hopefully we can just play hard and have fun out there. I mean, it's a big rivalry, Soldier Field. What more can you ask for?
All right, have fun and hit them hard.
Thanks a lot.
All right, for 80 years, the Bears and Packers have been serving up a plate of bone-chilling hits. And tonight, well, the table is set yet again for another black and blue goodie.
It's the biggest rivalry in sports, not just football. And to be a part of that is special. There's just something about when we play these guys. If you don't win, it's hard to show up back in town here.
For a historic Soldier Field in Chicago for the Packers and the Bears. Beating for the 160th time, the highest total in NFL history. The Bears lead the overall series 83-70. There have been 6 ties, and the Packers had a 10-straight streak during the mid and late 90s. The average score differential, 1.2 points a game in 159 meetings. Paul Ettinger to kick it away. One of the most dangerous return men in the game, Allen Rossum, who is 5th in the NFL, averaging better than 26 yards a return. A sellout crowd on a cold, blustery night in Chicago. We are underway. Rossum at the 11th. Across the 30. Here's the Packers offense.
Hi, I'm Brett Favre, quarterback from Southern Mississippi. At tailback, Amon Green. Fullback, William Henderson. Our receivers, Antonio Freeman and Billy Schrader. At tight end, Bubba Frank. Left tackle, Chad Hillbilly Clifton. The left guard, Ross Verba. And at center, Frankie Bag of Donuts Winters, my roommate. Right guard, Marco Rivera. And at right tackle, Mark Towson.
Thank you, Brett. The Packers will start from their own 31, and Favre to throw on first down. Dumps it off Amon Green. Drilled after a gain of a couple. Roosevelt Colvin. Here's the Bears defense.
Hi, I'm Brian Robinson. Joining me at defensive end is Philip Daniels. Our tackles are Jim Flanagan, Mike Wells. At backers, we have Roosevelt Colvin, linebacker Brian Urlacher, Sean Harris. Our corners is Jerry Muscle Baby Azuma and Thomas Tight Cover Smith. And at our safeties, we have Tony Parrish and Mike Brown.
Brian, thank you. Amon Green. A yard shy of a first down at the 40. Sean Harris with the tackle. He's played very well lately. Dick Duran, the head coach of the Bears. He certainly suffered through a disappointing season. A lot of optimism coming in after they were 6-10 a year ago. And Mike Sherman, in his first year with the Green Bay Packers as the head coach, had a chance to go 6-6 a week ago, but they played probably their poorest game of the year. There is the rookie middle linebacker, Brian Urlacher. He is as good a rookie defensive player as you're going to see. Favre out in the flat. They will not get the first down. Sensational defense by another rookie, Mike Brown, the free safety from Nebraska.
It really has been Mike Brown and Brian Urlacher that have really picked it up on this defensive side of the ball. Little play action fake. Henderson in the flat. Brown is right there to make sure he does not get the first down.
Very instinctive player at free safety, and that's what you need at that position. So the Packers will go 3 and out, and Josh Bidwell will have to kick it away. Milburn waits at his own 20. Off the side of his foot, Milburn on the fly. Nice job by Milburn. Here's the Bears offense.
Hi, I'm James Allen, and joining me on offense tonight is quarterback Shane Matthews, fullback Curtis Enos. The wide receivers are Eddie Kennison and Marty Booker. Sam Cincino is the tight end. Up front, we have Blake Brockemeyer and James Big Cat Williams as our offensive tackle. Todd Perry and Chris Valerio are the guards, and Casey Wigman is the center.
Thank you, James. Allen coming off a great game a week ago in statistics. Cracked the 100-yard barrier, but fumbled 3 times. Matthews throws incomplete on first down. Drilled that one to Eddie Kennison. He couldn't catch it. Here's the Packers defense.
Hi, I'm Leroy Butler. Joining me tonight on defense, you have Vonnie the Chocolate Thunder Holiday and John Theory. Cletus the Four-Knuckle Hunt. Russell the Scrap Iron Maryland. Then you have Katie the Buddha Williams. You have Bernardo the Hitman Harris. Nate the 5.0 Wayne. Then you got Mike McKenzie and Tyrone Groove Me Williams. And at safety, Darren the Sharper Shake Sharper.
Well, Leroy worked on that a while.
They all do. They work for a week.
Matthews out of Florida to throw on second down and dumps it underneath to James Allen, who makes the catch across the 45-yard line, covered by Nate Wayne.
Shane Matthews will not be hard to find tonight for that Green Bay defensive line. He doesn't move around a lot, spends a lot of time in the pocket.
Cade McNown almost recovered from that separated throwing shoulder. He is the number 3 quarterback tonight. The Bears on 3rd and 5 will go with 4 wide receivers. Des White, number 80, checked in. Matthew, now he'll scramble. First down and more. Safe at the 39.
As I said, you just don't need to worry about him running around a lot.
Well, the one thing, he's trying to throw that real quick pass to the outside for about a 2-yard gain and then pick up maybe 6 or 8. But what happens is Matthews, he looks, he actually pumps twice, and then here's what he sees. He sees the open in the middle. There's from the ump cam. He sees the wide open field, no white shirts. What a great play.
And then does a smart thing. He slides down so he doesn't take a hit.
By far his longest run of the season. Bears in the eye, and Allen. Not much. Slithers down to the 38-yard line. James Allen last week had one of those Jekyll and Hyde games. 25 carries, 122 yards. First time in 2 seasons the Bears had 100-yard rusher. But he fumbled it 3 times, and he had never fumbled in an NFL game before last week.
That's the first time a player has done it in 8 years. Can you believe that? 8 years to still get 100 yards.
Because most of the time, if you fumble 3 times, you don't get to see the field again. Allen will test the left side this time and spins back into the 35-yard line. Nate Wayne was waiting for him. He's playing for the injured Brian Williams, arguably their best defensive player at linebacker.
James Allen is a nifty little back, and I use the term nifty because guys like him like to start one way and then cut back. Now, what he's talked about trying to do is be more patient, keep on pressing towards the hole. This is a case where it didn't look real good. He could have cut back, but he stayed with his blocks, was a little bit more patient up into the hole.
3rd and 4. Matthews to the shotgun. Batted up in the air and incomplete.
And that is something that Shane Matthews saw a bunch of last week against the Jets. They went 3-4 defense, 3 down linemen, 4 linebackers. Took a few steps to the line of scrimmage and batted it back.
Number 95 is a rookie, Steve Warren. Watch this. He waits, and watch, get his hands up now. But that really is good defense. You know you can't get to the quarterback, but just get in his face. And the Bears, why not? 3 and 9? Let's go for it on 4th down.
Victor on from the 35. It's 4th and 4. He will go for it. Matthews with time. Scrambles for another first down.
You know what this really does? When you see a quarterback in the first series of downs, Joe, tuck it and run, which he doesn't usually does, and that's going to make you keep your linebackers home longer.
I like his decisiveness against the coverage. There you see up top, nowhere to go with the football. Now here again, Eddie Kinnison coming out. Tries to make the turn inside, now got people waiting on him. Then he just says, okay, I'm going to pull it down. This is something he didn't do against the Jets. He didn't decide to run. He tried to stay with the pass too long.
First down, a little swing to Allen. Got a block and nailed out of bounds at the 23.
I really like what the Bears are doing. They cannot attack. Let's attack. I mean, we really have nothing to lose. Let's just attack this team.
Well, and also, Billy, they're a throwing football team. Gary Croton, their offensive coordinator, is a guy who likes to put the ball in the air. And with James Allen as a single back, if you go 3 and 4 wides and you spread them out, it really creates natural holes in that defense and a problem for the Packers.
2nd and 4, Matthews to the shotgun again. High snap, but he pulls it down. Whips it complete, and the Bears really on the move. Macy Brooks makes his first catch. There's a marker down at the end of the play. Nice throw by Matthews.
Brought down by Sharper and Hunt. There are multiple flags on the play.
And this will come back.
This a pick?
Could be.
Pass interference. 86 offense. 10-yard penalty, still second down.
Marty Booker is called for the pass interference.
There's Marty Booker right there. What he's going to do is he's going to set the pick. Or excuse me, I'm sorry, let me go this way. He's going to set the pick this way. They're going to come inside. Can't do it. The reason why it's such a tough play is because the ball's in the air. He starts to block him a little bit before the ball is thrown. If he doesn't throw his hands up and sort of just gets in the way, it's not quite as obvious. That was pretty obvious.
Yes, it was. 2nd and 14. There's the flanker screen. And beautifully played. K.D. Williams, the second-year linebacker, made the stop.
But K.D. Williams was out there. There were two other guys there. I mean, it was like they knew the play was coming. Take a look at the white shirts. K.D. Williams is number 50. He gets there first. But look at the white shirts that are out there. But Kenzie is there, number 34. They read this thing perfectly.
But Enos and Booker, they've got to get blocks. I mean, when you've got receivers out in front, they take the place of offensive linemen on a screen like that. If they don't get anybody, you wind up with losses.
One of the favorite plays in this offense.
That's throw it out.
3rd and 17 now. Milburn is in as the 3rd down back, and they'll blow the play dead.
Delay a game.
And now they're definitely out of field goal range.
Still 3rd down.
ESPN Sunday Night Football continues next week with a classic AFC matchup. Vinny Testaverde and the New York Jets head west to meet Tim Brown and the Oakland Raiders. Our coverage begins at 7:30 with prime time. A couple of teams with 10-3 and 9-4 records. That should be a beauty from the coast next Sunday night. Milburn on the draw. Takes a couple of tackles. Ball came loose, but after he was down at the 35-yard line, Darren Sharper with the tackle.
Wait a minute. If you go on 4th down from the 35 the series before, why don't you do it now?
Well, 4th and 16 is the only thing that could change his mind.
See, instead of running the draw, I really think an opportunity to throw the ball down the field a little bit longer would have been better.
Louis Aguiar, who was signed to replace the injured Brent Bartholomew, tries to put it inside the 10 and can't. 35-yard punt, but a net of only 15. With Soldier Field in Chicago, 0-0 first quarter. These overhead shots of Chicago provided by the Southwest Airlines aerial cam.
Michael, I don't know if I've ever seen this before in a game, but the Chicago Bears ran 10 plays in that drive. They ran off 6 minutes and 8 seconds off the clock, and they gained 24 yards.
Yeah, but you kept Brett off the field. Isn't that part of it?
Oh, please.
Hard, incomplete, intended for Schrader, but it was knocked away at the last moment. Thomas Smith with a nice close on the coverage. Favre for the year, approaching 3,000 yards, which would tie him with Dan Marino for 9 straight 3,000-yard seasons, but only 2 more touchdown passes than interceptions this season.
You know, when you talk to him about the only thing he's concerned about is winning, just winning. He doesn't care how, whatever it takes to win.
Has a remarkable love for this game. Green. The hole closed quickly by Roosevelt Colvin. This is a nice set of linebackers they have.
Oh, they are super, and they move very well. Urlacher is going to take on the fullback. He's number 54, and then Colvin, number 59, makes the tackle. Here's Brian Urlacher. Take a look at this. Boom. He does take on a fullback. He takes on the guard.
With Colvin and Urlacher and Holdman and Harris. Holdman is injured. They have some pretty good prospects at that spot. 4-man rush, Favre underneath to Green. Got the first down out to the 31. Had his legs knocked out from under him by R.W. McQuarter.
This is the area where Brett Favre has really changed his game. He's become a much more disciplined quarterback. He doesn't try and force it down the field. Watch how he just stays in the pocket also. He waits for Amon to get out. turns upfield, makes the play.
He didn't like it yesterday when you called him Captain Checkdown.
Well, I know, but I know somewhere in this game he's going to start to cut it loose. But until the Bears want to come up and make the tackle, keep on doing it.
Far deeper this time, Antonio Freeman to midfield.
Brett Favre just creates so many problems for you because if you keep him in the pocket, he can stand in there and fire balls like that to Freeman. If he gets outside, there's no telling who can get on top. And Antonio Freeman is a guy they have to get involved. Number 86 up top, slides in. Now watch him bounce outside away from where the linebackers drop it. That's just evidence of two guys that have worked together a lot.
In '98, he made the Pro Bowl, had an incredible year with 84 catches, 1,400-plus yards receiving, then signed a big contract, missed camp. Missed part of the preseason. His numbers declined. They have declined again this season.
Chad Clifton, the left tackle, got a little bit antsy.
Ball start. 76 offense. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Antonio Freeman has never had great speed. He's had outstanding moves, the ability to recognize zone, get away from man coverage, and obviously things are not right with Antonio Freeman, not with those numbers.
Well, he just, he hasn't been himself. They said the last couple weeks he's practiced well. His big thing is getting people on him, making a move. He doesn't have the great speed to force a defensive back and make up the difference.
Nice fake by Favre. Throws again. This one's complete to Slater. He's down to a 34-yard line. Mike Brown on the coverage, but not close enough.
Well, when Favre and the Green Bay Packers run a play-action pass, it just freezes the linebackers. And that's why Schrader ends up in the middle by himself. Here comes a play-action pass. Watch this. Watch Favre. Watch the linebackers. 54, 5, and 9. They all sit right there, and look at the opening down the middle of the field. Schrader's wide open.
Don't you think that's part of Urlacher being a rookie linebacker, really playing the position for the first time, trying to jump everything that shows?
5 out of 6 for Favre so far. Wants to throw again. This one's batted at the line. Daniels, the 5-year man who came over from Seattle, got his hands on it.
We see that week in and week out where defensive linemen, that was just a quick pass. So he read, got up in a hurry, and makes the block. Philip Daniels, number 93. This is just an outstanding play. Watch it. Boom, boom, up in the air. He knows, he sees Favre, he's reading the quarterback. He's not just looking at the tackle blocking him.
Daniels with a half a dozen sacks this year, had a career-high 9 in Seattle a season ago. Green. Nice block by Henderson. Upended at the 32. Amon Green, not only the leading rusher for this club, he is the leading pass receiver in number of catches. And he has been filling in for the injured Dorsey Levens, as well as Green has played. Levens is the guy they've missed.
Well, you see Amon's numbers up to 763 yards. Probably will go over 1,000 before the season's over. But Dorsey Levens is the kind of a back who has the experience in a screen to know how to set linemen up. He's a patient back. He's familiar with this offense, and almost more importantly, he's very comfortable for Brett Favre.
Had multiple knee injuries. They've yet to put him on IR. Favre to Schrader. He has the first down at the 23. Smith with another tackle.
What a great release Favre has.
Bill Schrader has stepped up and become the speed go-to guy. He's got Thomas Smith. As soon as Thomas Smith is trailing him, Schrader has him beat. Favre sees it, knows exactly what he wants to do.
Look at this release of Favre. He says, every time you see me throw a ball, you'll see me back out of there.
He tries to throw it on balance. He's not accurate.
Green, as they fake the end around, and Amon Green will get maybe a half yard. Mike Wells made the stop, the right tackle. Bears defense only 26th against the run, but last week they held the Jets to 59. They played very well in the last half dozen weeks.
When you see Favre, the quarterback, and he hands the ball off, it's like, okay, let me just throw a run in here every now and again to open up the passing.
Greg Blanche has done a good job against him. He wants Brett to be patient. Doesn't want to get beat with the big one.
Favre again with time. Bubba Franks. The rookie who had dropped so many balls made a nifty catch that time.
The one thing about Bubba Franks is you cannot hit him in the hands. You just have him stand there. You have to throw the ball where Bubba Franks has to go. Here's a rookie, and we ask him about this guy. Look at this move. Watch the catch. Watch the extension. Out, makes the catch, and gets back up.
And here, watch. Now, here's the throw going backwards. Look at how tight it is. Bubba does a nice job, even though he lost his balance coming up with it, and then presence of mind to get up and start to run. A lot of young college guys just feel like they're on the ground. May as well stay there.
First and goal, Green Bay. Out of the eye. Green. Stops shy of the 2-yard line. This quarter has flown by as there have been a lot of complete passes and a lot of runs.
Gain of 1.
Only a gain of 1 on the last rush, and it's second and goal. This drive has already consumed 77 yards.
See why they went to 6 minutes? That's what the Bears tried to do.
Yeah, but the Bears only got 24 yards.
And the first quarter will end in a scoreless tie. The Packers and the Bears meeting number 1-6. Julia McCaskey on the right, the Bears owner, and she is celebrating the arrival of a new stadium. The legislature in Illinois passed the bill this week. And Ted Phillips deserves an awful lot of credit for the negotiations because they have been trying to get a new stadium here for years. George Halas suggested it in the 70s. They are more than likely to play their games in Champaign, Urbana for a season. They will keep the facade of Soldier Field and build a new place right here. Franks and Davis, double tight ends. Freeman, the wide receiver. Green. Spins out of the tackle, touchdown.
Mike Wells, number 97, was in the hole and didn't make the play. If he makes the play, they tackle him for about a 1-yard loss. But Amon Green makes a spin into the hole. Number 97 is Mike Wells on Chicago's defense. Watch this. Bang. He's right there to make the play. He can't hold on to Green, and Green spins and gets the touchdown. Nice play.
And good job by Chad Clifton, the left tackle. See how he just gets up in front, gets in the defensive back space.
Longwell for the point after. And the Packers strike first moments into the second quarter. And they lead the Bears at Soldier Field 7. The Packers with an impressive 80-yard drive. In fact, their 13th 80-yard drive or more of the year, and that's the most in the National Football League. Even with all the problems they've had this year, they have been very good at sustaining the long ones, and Mike Wells had a chance to stop it, although it would have been an incredible tackle had he made it. Milburn from the 5. Can't get past the 20. Touchdown by Scott McGarrahan. The Bears will start from their own 20-yard line, trying to come back against Green Bay. The Packers up 7-0. Soldier Field is actually a no-smoking facility, but
unless it's your head, the smoking heads.
It is cold, but apparently not cold enough.
He's trading pants. That's really nice.
It's like they're snapping up.
Allen steps over a would-be tackler. Cuts back, picks up 7. The Bears have been known for defense for years, and one of the reasons is their offense isn't very good. They've only averaged 16.5 points a game. The last 5 years, that's the worst in the NFL over that span. And in the last 39, they have failed to score 30 points even one time. It's the longest streak for this franchise.
Gary Croton was brought in to put some points up on the board. They really thought they had it going towards the end of last year, and then the injuries have just set it all back.
Well, they lost Bobby Ingram, such a reliable receiver. Marcus Robinson has been hurt on and off. They've played 3 quarterbacks this year. They have more guys on injured reserve than probably anybody else in the league. And Allen is swallowed up by middle linebacker Bernardo Harris.
There's a good way to eliminate one of your running backs by throwing that little dump pass, and you got a linebacker right there.
depending upon how long Gary stays here and what happens to his future, there might be a change in this offense. And certainly James Allen has auditioned, if there is, to be a back who can carry the ball.
Croton has to be the leading candidate for that BYU job.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, they've contacted him, and there will be an interview coming up in the very near future.
Shane Matthews, Enos out of the backfield, first down. And Curtis Enos carries Tyrone Williams and Todd McBride with him for a first down.
Yeah, I also think, you know, you're not going to score 30 points if you don't average a bit better with passes. For example, Shane Matthews averages 4.1 yards a pass over the last 45 guys who have thrown the ball. Here's another little play-action dump-off. Now that picks up the first down. Okay, you've got the first down. Challenge them down the field.
All their completions so far, Joe, have been to running backs. 4 out of 6 for Matthews. Allen lowers his shoulder and gets a couple up to the 39. Harris again in on the tackle for Green Bay.
Let me be more specific. Shane Matthews has averaged 4.1 yards per pass. Now, there have been 45 guys who have had 75 attempts or more, and he's the lowest.
Yeah, there's 2 running backs in this game. They're into this game on both sides, Green Bay and Chicago, that average more than he does when they're running the ball.
I mean, I think if you're going to throw it, you're going to have to take shots somewhere down the field.
Matthews looking deep this time. Booker got it.
That'll jump your average just a little bit.
Beat Mike McKenzie, a juggling catch by Marty Booker.
But what? If you look at Booker, this timing on this pass, it's the perfect pass. He beats McKenzie. Here's McKenzie, 34. But watch Booker's, look at his eyes, and then watch him jump. Up. Great control of the ball.
Juggles it a little bit, but stays with it. And Shane Matthews, hanging in the pocket, winds up taking a little bit of a push. Just a little bit of a push from David Bowens.
Gain of 41. Matthews, under pressure this time, throws it away. You have to wonder on that complete pass, as close as they have been calling roughing the passer, you only get 1.5 steps. You look a little more than that.
Well, you do, but Chris Valerio was really pushing him, so he didn't have a free run at it. The lineman was pushing him into it, so I can see where the official wouldn't throw the flag.
And he didn't hit him in the head, which is key.
Four-man rush. Wide open, Des White, and he missed it.
Oh, man. Des White had beaten McKenzie, number 34, by at least 8 yards. And I mean, you don't get any more open than this. And number 80 is Des White. Watch this. Watch how far he beats him. Look at here. 8 yards. And the ball isn't even close.
Boy, McKenzie didn't even bother to follow the play either.
And the other thing is Shane Matthews was not pressured. I mean, that was just a pitch and catch like there wasn't anyone there, and he threw it over his head.
Now 3rd and 10 for the Bears. Underneath, Allen. Dive to the 8. That'll be a first down. James Allen very aware of where the sticks were.
I like what both quarterbacks are doing tonight.
You take a look down. I like the fact he came back. All right, I'm looking downfield. I don't see what I want. Not going to risk anything. Nice catch. What an excellent catch. And now does a good job of protecting the ball and picking up the first down.
First and goal for the Bears, down 7-0 against the Packers. Empty backfield. Matthews, smart play, just throws it away again.
Flag. There's a flag on this play.
This is where the Bears miss a Marcus Robinson who's out of this game tonight. A big, tall receiver that you can just hang the ball up in the end zone to.
ineligible man downfield. They also missed 2 tight ends. Allred and Lyman are hurt.
Dick Geron looking on, watching his team move and shoot themselves in the foot again. They tried to run that little screen out to the right. You either have to throw it or throw it out quick. You can't hold on to it.
Receiver, number 60, offense downfield. The 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Casey Wegman, the center, playing for the injured Olin Kreutz. Had so many injuries on this ball club, and as we've talked about so many times, teams are so thin because of the salary cap. You lose a bunch of starters, you're in an awful lot of trouble. Packers look confused as to where they want to be on defense. Matthews with all day to throw. Intended for Allen, incomplete. Good coverage by Nate Wayne.
Well, there was good coverage in the secondary, but the thing about it is when Matthews went down, Joe, after the play action, no one even tried to get open. They're just standing by the defensive guys. When you look at the coverage is excellent. Don't get me wrong, but you've got to look at your quarterback. Here's the coverage. Now look at everybody kind of standing around. They're all, not getting away from the guys in the white shirts. You've got to move.
That's a good job of defense. They had a lot more people. A 2-receiver route. They've got 4 people in coverage.
The numbers on Matthews. Most of that came on one 41-yard strike. And around Bates. No place to go. 4 Packer defenders. Nate Wayne led the charge, but it was Bowens who messed up the timing, got him in the backfield.
I'll tell you why I don't like that call close to the goal line. Too many defenders are too close to the line of scrimmage. The action is so quick, you don't have time for anybody to get back into coverage or else anybody to come up to the line. Watch this. Little fake, but look at the play by Bowens. He's the one that blows it up, allows his friends to come up in mass to come and make the tackle. Sharper, Wayne, all of them got there.
Three-man rush. Oh, Sharper is all over James Allen.
You know, you can only throw to the back so many times. And Allen is there. Sharper is covering. But look at the coverage in the secondary, Joe. It's absolutely perfect. Everybody is covered. There's no place to throw the ball except to throw it short. And here's the short pass to Allen, and Sharper makes the play. He's right on top of it.
Edinger will come on to try a 32-yard field goal. He's hit 15 of 20 this year. And knocks this one through. So the Bears get on the board with 8:47 to go in the half. Who's here for you from Chicago? Duke Robillard. Joe's kind of music.
Yeah, baby. Go.
It's the rhythm.
Rossum waiting on the kick. Another short one, barely caught at the 18. Sutter steps his way across the 35. We're in Soldier Field, the 160th meeting between the Packers and the Bears. Green Bay leads it 7-3. Back after this. Penzane, it's rocket science for your car. By Fred Meyer Jewelers and Littman Jewelers for all those special times. By the United States Marine Corps, the change is forever. And by MasterCard, there's some things money can't buy. For everything else, there's MasterCard.
Oh,
just a gorgeous city.
There are a lot of people in the city.
Oh, it's a great city. Man. What a weekend, too. Everybody's doing their Christmas shopping.
You're out doing your Christmas shoplifting. Favre.
Schrader. What a throw, what a catch.
Ooh, Thomas Smith.
Receivers know when you play with Brett Favre, there's no such thing as being out of the play. Up top, number 25 on 84, Bill Schrader just keeps working. Now he goes up at the highest point to make a play on the ball. And here's a guy that just keeps working. There aren't many people who can make that throw in this league.
And Brett Favre has just gone over the 3,000-yard mark for the 9th straight year, tying Dan Marino's all-time record. Amon Green. Mike Brown with the stop, and Green will be slow to get up. Brett Favre, just a magnificent career he has had. Still only in his 10th year, and 9 straight with over 3,000. We'll check on the injury when we come back. Brett Favre, if it's 34 or below at home, he is 20-0. He's lost the only road game where it's been below 34 degrees. It's 32 tonight. Not good news for Brett Favre. He knows it's 32. First and 10, Packers driving again. Damon Parker injured in for the injured Amon Green. Here's Favre on what he does playing in cold weather.
I don't like the cold. It doesn't feel good, but I do have to play in it, and I can't ask Ron Wolf to give me a break on cold weather games. I have to play in it. So does everyone else. You know, I think it comes down to who wants it more. And although it's not nice to play in, I try to use it to my advantage.
And nobody wants it more than he does. That's Ron Wolf on the right, general manager of the Packers, who built the Super Bowl champions and is trying to rebuild the club right now. Henderson, about a yard shy of a first down, knocked out at the 11. Green is going to the locker room. Seems to be walking fine, and he could have been injured much worse on this play. He got very fortunate at the end.
Watch his right ankle, and you're going to see it roll up underneath him. Right there.
Fortunately, he doesn't get it falling on, but it's just very awkward. It looks like he almost plants on his ankle. He got up and walked off pretty well. There he is. He's walking pretty good.
Get a report on him as soon as we can. 3rd and a yard. And around Freeman. Antonio to the 7, first down Green Bay. Jerry Azuma made the stop.
The Packers need to do this with Antonio Freeman. Last week he didn't touch a ball in the first half, and receivers have the tendency to just sort of wander off into la-la land if you don't keep them in the game. They've thrown one to him in the first quarter. Now you give him the reverse. Again, taking advantage of the young linebackers wanting to pursue. You get him up close to the line, bring the receiver across, and he's got some running room. Got to keep him involved. Now you throw him the quick post.
Favre with time, batted away, incomplete.
That was Urlacher.
Intended for Wet Night, and the rookie middle linebacker got a hand on it.
I say, Brian Urlacher, you watch number 54. We haven't really called his name, but watch him line up now. He gets on Wet Night, the tight end, and watch his coverage. I talked about speed, outstanding speed. He beat the ball there.
I'll tell you, a year from now, he makes this as an interception because he'll be able to get his head around. I don't know if there are many middle linebackers that are playing much better in the league, especially in the NFC. To me, he's definitely a Pro Bowl candidate.
What's amazing about him, he was a free safety the last 2 years in college. Parker to the 5. It'll be 3rd and goal from there. Let's go to Solomon Wolcott. Solly?
Mike, the doctors have to take Amon Green into the locker room. They're going to take a look at his right knee. Of course, he's wearing so many warm clothes, they really couldn't get a look at it. They're taking him into the locker room to try to see how much swelling is there. We'll let you know more when we get a better report. Back
All right,
to you.
Solomon, thanks very much. And certainly without Dorsey Levens, they need Amon Green. They're now in their 3rd tailback, Damon Parker, who only had 8 carries on the season coming into this one.
And their 3rd running back, Herbert Goodman, is not even dressed.
2 tight ends on 3rd and goal. Favre. Back of the end zone. The officials look at each other. Touchdown. Freeman got the feet down at the very end of the end zone.
I'm going to tell you something. There aren't a lot of quarterbacks who would even have attempted this throw. When Favre got to the outside, Favre could see the end zone. He could see the goal line. He could actually maybe have run this thing. Look at outside, and you see how far out Favre is. There's nobody around him. But look at the throw. Now they're gonna contest this, I think.
Boy, that was close.
I think he gets his feet down. The one
It looked like it, didn't it?
The one that they're concerned with is his left heel. That's the thing that they think might be on the line. I don't feel like it. I think this is going to be ruled a touchdown.
It has to be conclusive.
It is. It's a touchdown.
Bernie Kutgar will take a look at it.
Chicago is challenging the ruling on the field of a touchdown.
Did Freeman get both feet down inbounds?
Watch the left foot. The right one will get down. Yeah.
I think he did.
You can see the heel of his left foot. You can see that it's not, it's nowhere near on the chalk behind it.
Oh, wait. Don't say it's nowhere near. It's near. Look at, here's near. But if the official would have gotten out of the way, the back judge would have been able to see real near. There it is. That's near.
But I want you to see something else. You talk about having control of the ball, okay? Freeman, he's got this thing pinned up against his helmet. It's not one of your classic catches. It's pinned against his helmet, but he does have control of it.
And the internet viewers say it's just fine. 84% say let it stand.
16% of the Chicago people who couldn't get tickets. It's a touchdown. There's really not enough evidence to overturn this. And
one way or another, it's a heck of an effort by Antonio Freeman.
Both guys.
A heck of a throw by Favre.
The throw, the catch, and here's Antonio Freeman again. To hold on to the football, you got to have control. He has control. Now he comes down, and he still has control of the ball, and that's another factor. If he would have dropped this ball as he goes out, it would not have been a touchdown, but he has control.
He pinned it in his right ear. Look at this. That is pinned in. That is sticking in the ear hole. Look, watch. That ball doesn't move as he gains control of his body.
That's a touchdown.
And it doesn't move when he comes down either.
That's the key. That is the key.
A lot of votes coming in. The percentage is standing at 84-16. Now they've switched a little, but still overwhelmingly in favor of letting the play stand.
That didn't take long for Bernie to look at.
No, he's seen enough.
Way to go, Bernie.
After reviewing the play stands as called. It is a touchdown. Both feet were in.
Antonio Freeman with his 8th touchdown reception of the year. Brett Favre has now thrown Freeman 50 touchdown passes in their career. That is the 10th all-time for that combo.
Look at this.
Longwell for the point after. The Packers extend their lead to 14-3. Good. Favre and Freeman, they've been quite a combo over the years. Favre having a big first half, and Freeman trying to break out of a slump. Packers now up by 11 in a rapidly moving first half. Only 4:23 to go in the half. Milburn is deep to receive the tip. Moves up to the 8. Takes the seam and returns it to the 36. William Henderson, the starting fullback on the tackle for the Packers. Timeout. 14-3, our score from Soldier Field.
As soon as he hit 30, Dad started losing his hair.
I had it when I needed it.
So I knew it could be in the cards for me. And at the first sign of fallout, I checked it out with a dermatologist. And he said Rogaine every day, right at the source of the problem. I've used Rogaine for 2 years.
Brett Favre and Antonio Freeman make a little NFL history tonight. They have now exchanged touchdowns 50 times, and they have moved into number 10 on the NFL's all-time list.
Watch Freeman keep working. He gets by Thomas Smith. Okay, now, he looks for a hole. And you know the thing is, see, he doesn't have to throw his hands up like so many young receivers do. Brett will find you. Just go find a place to get open.
Matthews under pressure. Screen. Allen. Nice job to use his blocker. gain of 11. Vonnie Holliday chasing down from behind. 6 catches for Allen. Monday Night Countdown tomorrow night at 7:30 Eastern. Mike Tirico and the gang review Sunday's top stories and preview the Monday night matchup. Then at 9, it's ABC's Monday Night Football with the Kansas City Chiefs taking on Drew Bledsoe and the New England Patriots. And a yard in the Green Bay territory.
One of the things you might see Chicago do as this game continues to go on, Shane Matthews really likes a no-huddle offense, and he runs it very effectively. So as they continue to move formations around, once Gary Croton sees enough of this Green Bay defense that he can set the plays he wants, he may cut Shane loose.
Milburn checks in the backfield on 2nd and 6 as we approach the 3-minute mark of the first half. Three wide receivers. Allen the single setback. Matthews with plenty of time, and this one's complete for another first down. And it's his tight end, Kasim Cincino. Only his 13th grab of the year.
Now, Leroy Butler, we know how good he is. Watch it, and looking back at the quarterback. And this is what Leroy Butler sees. He sees the throw, bam. No yardage for Cincino. Just makes the catch, and the tackle is made.
Butler out of Florida State, the defensive leader in his 11th season. He was a second-round draft choice back in 1990. Fighting for extra yardage near the 35. And we have already reached the 2-minute warning here at Soldier Field. Packers on top, 14-3 the score. Beautiful city of Chicago, the skyline over the lake. Early December night. Who's in, who's out, and who's on the bubble? Log on to NFL.com. You can find out, and it's getting to be that time of the season.
But we still don't know.
No, we don't.
It's about the same as it was a week ago, all guessing.
We do know the Vikings are in, and our game next week, the Jets at Oakland, will go a long way in determining the playoff seeding. Bears from the 36. Booker can't get it. Knocked away at the last moment by McKenzie.
Oh, I'll tell you, Shane Matthews is down. I mean, they almost knocked him out.
His backup is Mark Hartzell. The third guy is Cade McNown, who has been injured. And Matthews was drilled.
What happens on this play, you see Booker gets on top, and this ball's just underthrown. Mike McKenzie does a nice job of going up after the ball. We come back, Pack still on top.
Shane Matthews sidelined at least temporarily. He takes a shot to the chin.
Nate Wayne, number 54, coming right up the middle. Nobody blocks him. And the shot. Now watch when he hits the ground.
I think he's out before he gets there. It's like a right cross.
Oh, he is. And that means Mark Hartzell, with his first play in the NFL, throws incomplete. Fans want a flag, so does Cincino. Todd McBride was right on top of the tight end.
Trying to go over the middle. Cincino hooking around. McBride just hanging with him. Well, had that left arm wrapped around him a little bit.
Looked like pretty good coverage. And now on 4th down, Aguiar will come on to kick from the 36-yard line. He kicked from the 35 before and put it in the end zone. And Aguiar hits another one close to the goal line, and it makes the end zone. Just over the outstretched hands of Des White, who was in perfect position to make a play. ESPN Sunday Night Football is brought to you by True Value, where help is just around the corner. By Fleet, together we're moving forward and always thinking. And by Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL, an official airline of the Super Bowl. The report on Shane Matthews, he had the wind knocked out of him and will be updated at halftime. So the Packers have a minute 38 to go. Henderson, the fullback. Urlacher nails him after a short game.
And Amon Green, we found out he went in the locker room. They put a brace on it. He may be back on his knee. He may be back to play in the second half.
24.
What city are you in?
Thursday.
What time of day is it?
Thursday.
Now, Nate's explained, when I hit him, I came up there, I caught him on the right cheek, and that was it. He went down.
And Nate may be getting a call in the middle of the week from the league. That may cost him a couple of bucks. Favre, the screen to Henderson. Near the 30, chased down by Mike Wells, the big tackle.
Brought down by Colvin and Wells. Gain of 5. 3rd and 1 at the Packers 29.
To me, I would think that the Packers, with Brett Favre at quarterback, would have started doing this a little bit quicker. You've got all 3 timeouts left, and now you've got it down to nowhere.
Another screen to Henderson. Forget it. Did not get the first down. Excellent defense by the Bears.
Minute and 50 seconds, 3 timeouts. You go run, screen, screen.
25 seconds left. Back in a moment. A strange sequence of plays. The Packers face 4th down, and they'll kick it away with 25 seconds left. The Bears stop the clock with their last timeout. They'll let this one bounce, and it will roll down near the 25-yard line. 46-yard punt with the roll. Coming up at the half, Chris Berman in the Toyota Halftime Show, our SportsCenter in-game segment, the fastest 3 minutes in television. And we'll take a look at the NFC East playoff picture. The Giants win a huge game today in Washington.
And the Redskins are pretty much plagued by the same problems the Raiders had a year ago. Losing a lot of games because your field goal kickers can't make kicks.
Wait a minute. They also are not scoring any points either.
Yeah, but if you need 3, you got to get the 3, and they haven't been able to do that all year long.
You're asking a 44-year-old guy to kick a 49-yard field goal?
They've tried 10 other people.
Shane Matthews back in the ball game, apparently recovered from the big hit of Nate Wayne, but only 11 seconds to go and no timeouts. Underneath Cincinnati across midfield to the Packer 47, but they can't stop the clock. And time will expire on the Bears offense after a gain of 29. That's the end of the first half. The score, the Packers 14, the Bears 3. Now let's join Chris Berman for the SportsCenter in game, the Toyota Harris, as we get set to start the second half. The Bears will get it Longwell to kick to Milburn.
I get a kick out of him when he says, I'm an adult now. Anybody that's around him knows that that's really not true.
He's got a wonderful attitude.
He's still a kid. He's still a kid having fun. He loves the game, loves the competition, and having a heck of a night tonight. Not a lot of passes, but very efficient.
Mike, at every possession the Bears have had, they've crossed midfield and end up with 3 points.
That hurts. They had their chances. They've been unable to convert except for the 1 field goal. Line drive kick this time, Milburn from the 6. Lowers his head and plunges out to the 35. And just moments ago, Solomon Wilcox talked with Dick Duran.
Coach Brett Favre got hot in the first half, completing 12 of 15 passes for 129 yards. What do you do to slow him down here in the second half?
Well, we got to try to get a little more pressure on him, but we've got to make plays. You know, our offense moved it down there. We took ourselves out of field goal position. We took ourselves out of scoring a touchdown on the second time. So we need to take advantage of our opportunities. We can't give him the opportunity to make the big play because he's going to make it.
All right, Coach. Good luck in the second half.
Thanks.
Back to you, Mike. Thank you, Solomon. Bears start from their own 35. Allen off the left side. Got a nice block from his guard, Todd Perry, the tackle by McKenzie. Here are the first half numbers, quite close, only 2 yards in total yards separating Green Bay and Chicago.
You know, the one thing Dick Duran was talking about Favre, he says, I enjoy watching him play. You know, he really is an exciting quarterback. And then you look at the Chicago Bears and think 3 out of 7 on third down conversion. That's the one down that you really have got to get up there around 60-70%.
But you've got to get some big plays. You just can't, 4 or 5 yards yourself down the field. You need the big one.
Allen tries to cut it outside because there was nothing inside. And Vonnie Holliday grabbed Holden, wouldn't let him go. K.D. Williams came up and helped out.
Vonnie Holliday is a guy who's playing in his third different style of defense now. This is going to be the elephant, the old San Francisco defense. He is playing the power end. Does a nice job on Big Cat Williams, holding him up, and then makes the play. He's certainly quick enough to be able to get off of a tackle and get up the field, although his speed is not quite as essential in this style of defense.
He was a tackle in college at North Carolina. First-round draft was in '98. Packers come with a blitz. Oh, just got it off before he was drilled. Sharper came off the corner and leveled Shane Matthews.
Shane Matthews, I'm going to assure you one thing, will not get out of bed tomorrow morning. And Sharper, Jared Sharper on this play here, I mean, he comes in number 42 and nobody touches him. I don't know what Todd Perry was thinking about as the guard. Look at Todd Perry. See 75? He looks at him, then he goes back inside where there's already help.
Aguiar to kick to Rossum. High and short. Rossum says get away. It takes a good bounce for Chicago inside the 30. So the Packers on top. 14-3. Sharper with a big defense. Welcome back to Chicago. When we had a chance to talk to Brett Favre last night, I was really impressed, as I always am, with the things he has to say. But particularly his maturity. He understands what kind of team he is on. He can't force the ball down the field all the time. That's why he's throwing so many short passes.
But he also realizes that them winning depends strictly on him. It really does. And there are passes he made. The one he made to Friedman for the touchdown, Joe. I'm saying most quarterbacks wouldn't do that.
Wouldn't even try it.
Amon Green is back in the ballgame after being sidelined with the knee injury. He picks up a few.
The other thing, he's really taken a different role this year. Last year, with all the changes that were happening, he tried to wear 2 hats. He tried to be a coach and a player. Then he just found out he couldn't do it. He sat in meetings. He dictated to players, I want you to do this, I want you to do that. And it just became too much. He's really a football player, and that's all he wants to do is go out and play football, run around and make plays, and that's exactly what he's doing this year.
Play action by Favre. Steps up in the pocket and unloads. Schrader almost intercepted. Brown came over from the safety spot, and that ball hung.
They've got the play action they want. Ball just hangs in the air on him. Mike Brown actually has a chance at making a play on it, and he can't quite get to it. Now watch Favre. He hangs it up high, but he just doesn't put it outside enough. Schrader's still looking to see. Go up and get the ball. Don't look at the defensive guy, Billy. Watch. Now watch Brett. Look at.
He looks like he just threw the javelins.
He did. That's an Olympic throw.
Schrader had beaten Smith by 2 full strides, and now they'll whistle this one dead. It's a delay against the Packers.
Still third down.
The 5-yard penalty gives the Packers 3rd and 11 at their own 28.
One of the things Favre is most proud of is his durability and his ability to play with pain. He has started 138 straight games. In that span, 136 other quarterbacks have started during that NFL record streak.
But that's remarkable. But he's sixth on the all-time list. Three defensive linemen, three offensive linemen, two defensive players are ahead of him.
That's his tight end Ryan Wetnight with his second catch of the season. Urlacher drilled him.
Brad Urlacher, we talk so much about this young man, and again, like Joe said, it's the first time that he's ever played in the middle this year, but watch Urlacher. Now, his job is to get over on the tight end and make sure if he does catch the ball, he does not gain a yard, which he did not.
There's a lot of butt kiss in that kid. He really drills people. Bidwell to kick. Beauty. Milburn for a catch at the 19. 47-yard sky-high punt by Josh Bidwell. The Bears defense hanging in there, but they're down 14 this field for so many years. Jerry Azuma, as a running back in Division I AA, won the Walter Payton Award as the best running back in that division. Hit by Butler as he crossed the 23-yard line.
Leroy Butler is so key to what the Packers have to do on defense. If you see Leroy Butler up around the line of scrimmage making plays, that means that the defense is playing well. They rely on 36 as much as they do on that side of the ball. Watch him. He's just going to come flying right up. You know, he sees the hand. Here he comes. Now fill the hole. Come in behind Vonnie. Let him take the blocker. And then you go make the play.
You see how he gets himself in a football position where he slowly breaks himself down so he can make the play.
And that's what he wants to do. Last year, he did not have the opportunity to freelance as much. Matthews under pressure. Saw it and got rid of it. Butler said last year he yelled at his teammates, he praised his teammates, he criticized his teammates, and he didn't think he got through to any of them. They were not playing that well on defense. He was restricted, only had a sack and 2 interceptions, which is extremely low for him.
And this year he said, you know, he's angry. He's past frustration with the things that have happened. He's angry about the way things have gone. He said, hey, look, every 4 weeks in this league you see upsets. We used to be the guys that had to worry about it. Now we're the team that has to upset people.
Butler and his defense have the Bears in the 3rd and 6th hole. Matthews, incomplete, nearly intercepted. Bonnie Holiday thought he had it, but it hit the ground. Antoine Edwards had the first shot at it.
A great hustle by Vonnie Holiday. And here's a lineman that rushes and then turns around to try and come back and make the interception. Works back to the tight end on the right, or receiver on the right side. Now look at Vonnie Holiday, just trying to go after him. Extra hustle. Rush the passer on Big Cat. Ball is thrown. Now don't quit, don't stand still. That's super.
Rossum is back to take the punt of Aguiar. He's not had a good night. This is a much better kick. Rossum signals fair catch and makes it at the 34. There is a marker down after a 42-yard punt.
43 yards with no return.
Louis Aguiar has not had a punt this year over 50 yards. To me, that's incredible.
Well, he'll tell you it's because the winds that blow here in Soldier Field.
Or his leg is dead.
I'm not getting there. I'm just presenting facts. Your Honor.
Still no explanation of the penalty as yet. And it's going to go against Green Bay.
Signal is unsportsmanlike conduct against the Packers.
And this will be a 15-yarder for unsportsmanlike conduct. And Mike Sherman wants to know why.
You know, I was mentioned about...
During the kick, 24 of the receiving team blocked the man out of bounds. That's a 15-yard penalty. First down.
Antoine Edwards called for the penalty. That cost them 15 yards after the fair catch. Third quarter at Soldier Field. 10:50 to go, third quarter. After the penalty, the Packers are backed up to their 19-yard line. They've had 2 long touchdown drives tonight. Every other drive has been 3 and out for Green Bay. And that's exactly what the Bears defense needs right here. Amon Green on the delay, and Urlacher just ripped him at the 20.
Brian Urlacher has been so successful this year. I'm going to show you something. This is a play from earlier in the game. There's it, right in the middle. He reads from inside out. He has that kind of vision. Now, keep in mind, he was a safety in college, and he had the same type of vision from the field, except it was just further back. So as he sees the flow, he steps up, takes Henderson head on. And Dick Geron said, hey, look, if I see him in position to make a play, I don't concern myself because he always does.
Ball for Freeman, incomplete. When Urlacher was at New Mexico, he was an all-everything player. He was a rover back. They listed him as a free safety, led the team in tackles, had a sack and an interception. He was also a good enough athlete to catch 6 touchdown passes, averaged 15-8 on punt returns, and 26-3 on kickoff returns. 83 plays a game, which means he was in there for almost all of them.
And you notice when he makes a good play and he tackles someone, he's got that great big smile on his face.
And so does Mark Hatley, the man who drafted him. Blitz coming. Favre underneath. Freeman fighting for first down yardage and gets it out to the 30. He'll have it. Nice play by Antonio Freeman.
You know, you talk about versatility and a guy with experience. Antonio Freeman knew exactly where he had to go after he caught the ball. It's not so much that you catch the ball. It's what you do with it afterwards and know where you are on the field. Antonio Freeman catches the ball. Watch this. He knows he needs 3 more yards, and he gets 4.
Now, there's one of those 6-yard routes when you have 9 to go that work.
Thank you.
Amon Green on the toss. Just a couple. Urlacher with a tremendous future in Chicago. He has everything you would want in a middle linebacker, especially in this city that just loves middle linebackers. And why not? A couple of the best ever who played the game. Singletary with those focused eyes. And the best of all time, the original monster of the Midway, Dick Butkus. And what a nice man he is off the field.
Both of them.
But on the, absolutely, but on the field, they would just as soon break in half as look at. Favre. Almost intercepted. Parrish had a shot at it.
Donald Driver, what an excellent play he makes. He goes from offense to defense in a heartbeat.
Why not go after Jerry Azuma? It's only his 3rd start, filling in for Walt Harris. Driver's by him, but now the difference in what you saw there, you saw Bill Schrader go up and not try, or actually not even try to go up for a ball. There's a case where Driver goes up, and that extra effort saved the interception. There's Brett again, backing up as far as humanly possible.
He's got that characteristic recoil after he throws. Blitz coming again. Wide open, Schrader. And the former decathlon star out of Wisconsin lacrosse picks up 38 yards.
You know, all the things you want to talk about Brett Favre, and the one thing he is aware of, where every single person is on the field.
He is. He knows exactly what's going on. Not only offense, but the defense. Thomas Smith drives him down inside. He breaks out to the corner against the two deep, and the safety just doesn't get over to help out.
And people are always talking about the great gun he has for an arm, but that is a touch pass, and he's got that too. He's got it all.
He can knock the caliber down every now and then.
Green slips a couple of tackles, reaches the Bears 23.
We talked about Brett having dumped the ball off an awful lot this year. Take a look at the pass chart. You see, below 15 yards, he's got some pretty good completions, but now go above 15 yards. 2 for 4, 1 for 1, 1 for 2. That's what this offense has not been doing, is trying to get the ball down the field.
And those are numbers you'll take every time. Favre up to 186 for the night, midway through the third quarter. Favre, short set this time. Nice catch by Schrader. Beautiful grab down around his ankle.
Well, and again, the ball is thrown. I mean, you say, well, you know, Schrader makes a great play, but here's a pass throw where no one else can catch it but Schrader.
Mike talked about what a nice touch that last one was. Well, the heck with touch. Watch this. Zoom. Nose is down. One thing just technically about throwing a football, the reason why quarterbacks are able to throw the ball so hard into the wind is when the nose of the ball comes down, aerodynamically, it cuts through the wind easier. And nobody throws it like Brett Favre. It's a technical thing for you.
Oh,
Thank you.
Yeah.
Play action, screen. Green. Oh, nice play by the rookie safety, Mike Brown.
No, this play really has to confuse a lot of people. First of all, it's play action, then it's a fake draw, and then it becomes a screen. So you're putting three things for the linebackers, especially, that they have to look at.
If you're a linebacker, you're almost better not moving.
Yeah, you're just better. Yeah, when they start doing this stuff, just stay exactly where you are.
Chicago's got to come up with a play here now.
Considering their inability to score points, they can't afford to be down 21-3.
And you've got to go after Brett Favre. Make him get rid of the ball quickly.
The handoff, Green, touchdown. They crossed him up on that call.
The left side of the line.
Frank Winter gets a tremendous block. 52 of 78, Winters and Verba. Take a look at, there's Winters, number 52 to center. He just caves in Clyde Simmons, and that's touchdown.
Longwell for the point after.
The kick is good.
The Packers playing as well tonight as they played poorly on Monday, and they've got a 21-3 lead.
A new century is coming, and with it, 1,000 questions. Will your family ever be in harm's way? Will a small town in Texas be hit with a hurricane? Will your daughter ever need a new kind of blood treatment? We have no crystal ball for the world that awaits. Just one promise. We'll be there.
There's only one thing better than a Bobcat. And that's the power of a Bobcat at incredible savings. For a limited time only, you can get up to $4,700 off brand new 700 series loaders and financing as low as 0%. Hurry in now because this offer will be over soon. KC Bobcat in Olathe, Blue Springs, and Grandview.
It worked! Hey, kid. It worked! I got one!
Everything all right?
Oh, he just got his first phone call while he was on Roadrunner.
Roadrunner High-Speed Online runs over your cable line, so it won't tie up your phone when you're on the internet. Know someone who recently got connected?
I remember my first call.
Call them. They'll be thrilled.
At least he's wearing his robe.
That's true.
Roadrunner High-Speed Online. Let's go.
be remembered for two things: that he won 31 games and that he spent a lot of time in prison. That's it.
Denny McClain, Sports Century, the top 50 and beyond. Friday at 8, only on ESPN Classic.
Dan Patrick and Rich Eisen standing by with Sports Center. Here are the top stories. The Redskins in a lot of trouble. Our NFL Blitz and Brett Favre, the topic card. Sunday conversation. Milbert from outside the 10 to the 32. ESPN Sunday Night Football is brought to you by Visa. It's everywhere NFL fans want to be. By Presto, makers of the Pizzazz Pizza Oven. By Hyundai, backed by America's best warranty with 10-year powertrain coverage. And by Hewlett Packard, inventing new ways to live and work. The working city of Chicago. Not too happy tonight because their Bears are down 21-3 to their hated rival Packers. Allen on first down, taken down by Sharper, but he picks up 8.
Brian Urlacher is new to the middle linebacker position. When he gets away from the ball and he can run and chase, he's okay. But there's so many things to see. There you see him looking this way. Now all of a sudden the play starts, and all he does is look back and flash and see Green look like he's going to his right, and he's out of the picture. See, there it is. He's lost him. Where'd he go? Did he go out there? No. Sorry, Brian. Not this time.
Bears trying to get something started on offense, and Allen will have a first down across the 45-yard line.
I think if you're the Bears, you've got to get yourself in a little bit of a hurry-up offense to allow Brian and that defense a chance to catch their breath.
I agree with you. You're down 21-3, and 2 plays, they take over a minute. When you need scores, you got to get downfield.
Especially when your quarterback is comfortable in a no-huddle.
Handed off again, and Allen will pick up maybe a yard that time. They fake the end around. ESPN Sunday Night Football continues next week with a classic AFC matchup. Vinny Testaverde and the New York Jets head west to meet Tim Brown and the Oakland Raiders. Our coverage begins at 7:30 with prime time. A great matchup in Oakland next Sunday night. The Jets and the Raiders. Matthews with time over the middle. Cincino, the tight end, picks up about 5.
I'll tell you, Blake Brockemeyer just got away with hitting someone after the whistle blew.
And one of the Packers is hurt.
Steve Warren.
Steve Warren is really still in the position for Santana Dotson, who got hurt on Monday night. So they're getting a little thin in the defensive line.
Blake Brockemeyer, at the end of this play, look at number 78 right here. Boink. Bernardo Harris. I mean, the play is down. The whistle, even all the guys that are standing around, the play is down. It's right in front of the umpire. The umpire has got his cam on, but his eyes aren't on.
Didn't see. You could see that he didn't see it. You see where he stayed focused on the ball carrier on the ground.
Frank Warren, the rookie out of Nebraska, is down, and Joe mentioned the injury to Santana Dotson a week ago. He had a torn quad, is going to have 9 months of rehab from surgery. Very serious leg injury. Steve Warren is down. We will get a report on him as soon as we can. The Home Depot College Football Awards Show Thursday night at 9 Eastern honors the best the sport has to offer. The Doak Walker, Davey O'Brien, and Outland Trophy Awards. Just a few that will be presented. Then on Saturday night at 8 Eastern, college football's most prestigious honor, the Heisman Trophy, will be awarded live from the Downtown Athletic Club in New York City. And now they've brought the card out for Steve Warren. And he'll be assisted to it, limping badly.
His right leg. Maybe we can see what happened. 95, there's Warren. Remember, now it's his right leg. Oh, he gets bent back all the way. He gets nailed by Brockemeyer again. And there's Brockemeyer. We showed you at the end of the play. And he hits Bernardo Harris. So he got 2.
One for free.
One early? One a little late.
One real late. Warren, an obvious discomfort, being taken off.
Got those long cleats on. You can see the length of his cleats to try and dig into the turf.
Green Bay has assumed control of this ballgame here at Soldier Field in Chicago. They're up 21-3. Clock running in the third quarter. We're approaching the 3-minute 50-second mark. Three-man rush against Shane Matthews. He wants to go deep. Nobody home. Macy Brooks went to the post, and Matthews threw outside.
Well, Glenn Milburn stopped. He was supposed to be running the streak down the sidelines and never ran it.
Well, Glenn Milburn just doesn't play a whole lot, doesn't get many opportunities. But Macy Brooks has had 25 catches. There's Milburn outside on Rossum. He just starts down the field and then just stops. And the ball all of a sudden is headed up the field a long way.
Aguiar again will have to punt to Rossum. 7th in the conference in punt return. Has to hustle up on this one. He can't get there. Another short punt by Aguiar. 24 yards on the kick, but markers down, and tempers have begun to rise.
That one might just have been payback for what Brockemeyer did on the other play.
I have no doubt.
Mike Brown, the rookie, the Chicago number 30, was in on that mix.
The Bears fans really getting into it. A less than complimentary chant for the visitors.
Go ahead, Michael.
Very well put, Mike.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness. 91 of the receiving team. That's a 15-yard penalty. First down.
John Theory, the former Chicago Bear, now a Packers end, flagged for 15.
Cannonballs, $129 online. 88 hula hoops, $60 online. Elephant shampoo, $42 online. Not having to pay for any weird charges that show up on your bill? Priceless. With MasterCard, you're not responsible for unauthorized purchases on the web or anywhere. There are some things money can't buy. For everything else, there's MasterCard.
You want me?
Back off! He's the killer!
The nation's best come together for the most prestigious award in sports. The 2000 Heisman Trophy presentation, live from New York City, Saturday at 8, only on ESPN.
These overhead shots provided by the Southwest Airlines Aerial Cam, high above Chicago, Illinois. That's the Navy Pier on the lakeside. Packers are in control of this one, up 21-3. But they start from their 13. Green. Tough run by Amon Green. Got it out to the 15-yard line. Teams literally do not like each other, and this rivalry, the Packers with a 6-game winning streak at Soldier Field, it's their longest road win streak against one team since '67 when they beat the Vikings 7 times in a row.
And the Bears have lost 6 home games to the Packers in a row. And that is a record.
You don't like those kind of records.
Green again. Colvin made the tackle from his outside linebacker spot with 2:48 on the third.
We talked about Brett Favre and his 138 consecutive starts. The guy in second place is Peyton Manning with 45. I think that puts into perspective just how tough he has been.
It's a remarkable record. He had terrible tendonitis in his throwing elbow at the beginning of the season. He had to wear an oversized shoe to play last week because his foot was swollen so badly. You just can't get him out. Favre on the run, throws a strike to Freeman. That was a bullet. You could hear it hit Antonio Freeman. Thud.
R.W. McQuarters really thinks that he can make a play on this ball. Brett Favre out of the shotgun, rolling out. Doesn't set his feet, he just fires this thing. And R.W. thinks he can come in and make the play, but this one almost goes right through his hands.
You don't look at the concentration.
Watch 21. I mean, he's right there, and all of a sudden it's gone. Antonio Freeman so used to catching those bullets.
Play action on first down. And Schrader was grabbed, and there's the flag. Thomas Smith wrapped his arms around him.
I'm going to tell you something. This ball is not even catchable. It's not even close to being catchable. They got to take this flag away because Thomas Smith, I mean, that ball was thrown out of bounds. There was no way that Schrader's going to get a chance to catch the ball. No.
I was hoping that when the officials got together, one of them would have agreed with you, Paul, because I believe that was the right call.
25 defense. First down.
This thing is so far over Schrader's head, he gives up on it.
He really does. Schrader quits on the ball. Thomas Smith just grabs after the ball has really gone by.
The penalty is 16 yards in the first down. Spotted at the Green Bay 47. Amon Green to midfield, picks up a couple of more, and he is drilled. Urlacher in the middle of it. Let's go to Solomon Wilcox.
Thanks, Mike. I'm now with injured running back Dorsey Levens, who's out with a knee injury. And Dorsey, Mike Sherman is your third coach here in 3 years. Talk about maybe some of the similarities. Of course, he coached under Mike Holmgren. You notice any similarities, and what are some of the differences?
He's definitely a disciplinarian. You know, he's real strict with the fellas, and he's real tight on the small things. You know, he's focused on getting the team ready, and that's pretty much it.
How much has Brett had to change his game? Of course, he's been a vocal leader in the past, and now he's really kind of quietly but still getting things done.
I don't think he's had to change his game at all. He's still come out. He's the same old fiery Brett Favre. You know, he's going to play hard regardless who's coaching.
All right, Dorsey, thanks for joining. Let's get it back up to you, Mike.
All right, Solomon, you just saw Bubba Franks, the rookie tight end, with a drop, a ball right in his hands. Remember, in the first half, he made a terrific catch, falling down. Franks, the first-round draft choice out of Miami, has dropped a lot of balls this year, but Brett Favre says, give him 5 years, he'll be one of the best tight ends around.
And I talked to Tom Rosser. He said, you're not going to believe this, but he actually feels like he has the best hands on the team. In practice, he catches everything. Don't look at me like that.
Favre underneath. This time, Schrader makes the catch and stops at the 41.
You know, I'll tell you right now, just take a look at that play there, and you look at this offensive line blocking for Favre. I mean, they had a blitz on the Chicago Bears, and they didn't even get close to him.
They've done a nice job.
Well, and keep in mind, Chad Clifton, the left tackle, is a rookie out of Tennessee. Mark Tauscher, rookie out of Wisconsin on the bookends. They're doing a good job for him up front.
That time, instead of running him deep, they ran Schrader underneath, got enough for the first down. This time they'll go to Parker, who was in there to give Amon Green a break. And that's going to be the final play of the fourth quarter. It's cold in Chicago. If you're a Bears fan, it's going to get colder. The Packers up 21-3 and driving.
Don't think about it. You just play. Well, that's what I'm doing now. I'm enjoying it. I treat every game like it's my life.
Hopefully he is wrong about the part that he doesn't have that many games left.
Forget it. He's only 31 years old. He's only played 10 years. He's got 10 more to go yet.
That would be good for the game and good for those of us who love watching it. Out of bounds, intended for Driver.
Brett Favre has put together a nice highlight reel for himself tonight. Very efficient at what he's done. Excellent throw over the middle to Bubba Franks. This one's on the run by Schrader. What a good catch. Little pump. Buy some time. Antonio Freeman picks it up in the end zone. And just another nice little touch pass to Billy Schrader. He has all the throws. I mean, you know, he's the kind of guy that you just don't take a young quarterback and say, look at his footwork, look at this, look at that. No, all you want to look at is his production. That's all you want to
look at his results.
Favre steps up, throws it away.
Driver was out there covered well by Azuma. In 9 years in Green Bay, he had a year in Atlanta. 95 through 97 were the great years under Mike Holmgren. 112 touchdown passes, only 42 picks during that span.
And also 95, he had 25 touchdown passes in the red zone, 0 interceptions.
Missing a lot of his weapons from those glory years. Fair catch by Milburn at the 12. 26-yard punt and no return. Favre and his Packers in to go. We have a beauty for you next Sunday night. The 9-4 Jets who are chasing the Dolphins against the 10-3 Raiders who are trying to hold off the Denver Broncos. That should be a great ball game.
Well, if you guys remember now, preseason we did a little survey. Don't put your eyes to the ceiling. We did a little survey, and during that I took the Oakland Raiders to get to the playoffs and possibly win the Super Bowl. I don't want to applause yet. They are a great football team, and I'm going to tell you something right now. And 2 extra corners are going to give the Jets all they can handle.
And they're led by, I think, the league MVP, Rich Gannon.
Matthews under pressure. Allen. Nice grab. Takes it out near the 28-yard line.
I look at the Jets and the job that Curtis Martin has done, just as an example today. 4 backs went over 200 yards today. He was one of them. And Vinny Testaverde over the last couple weeks has really played a lot smarter. We saw him in Indianapolis, made some early mistakes. That really plagued him the early part of the year. Now he's settled in. They're playing full football games. I think it'll be a terrific one.
Matthews throws this one incomplete. Here's the AFC playoff picture as of tonight. Miami, Tennessee, and Oakland with the best records in the conference at 10-3. Baltimore at 9-4, Denver 9-4, the Jets also 9-4, and now the teams that have to scramble. Indianapolis, Pittsburgh, and Buffalo all at 7-6. Jacksonville really on fire now, but they have a huge hole to crawl out of at 6-7. Thrown right to Todd McBride, or is it Williams? It's Williams. Tyrone Williams, his 4th interception, runs it back for a touchdown. And Williams was the only guy there.
Well, when you have a 21-3 lead, you have the luxury of looking at quarterbacks. He just, look at that. He's looking right in just to see what Shane Matthews is going to do. As he gives ground, all he's doing is looking at the quarterback. Des White, you get a rookie, not really sure what he's supposed to do. I know one thing, he's not supposed to let him go the other way with 6.
Des White was not a factor. And Longwell for the point after. Williams out of Nebraska gets an easy one. Standing by for Sports Center. Those are the top stories they'll be taking a look at. The Redskins and the Giants. Big game today. And the Packers now in total control here in Chicago. Glenn Milburn on their return across the 30 to the 31. Let's go back to that interception. Des White ran a non-pattern.
A non-route.
Last play.
You've heard of 9 routes. He ran a non-route. There's Des White. That's Tyrone Williams. Tyrone's looking back at the quarterback. And you're going to want to see Des White. When he runs down the field, he doesn't give Shane Matthews anything. He runs down 15 yards, and then he doesn't know whether he's supposed to stop, go forward, running out. By that time, Tyrone Williams is just about in the end zone.
And that interception will go on Shane Matthews' stat sheet, but he didn't have a chance. Allen running hard will pick up about 6. Lyons and Bennett, or Bowens, made the tackle.
You know, we haven't talked about Curtis Enos. Was a guy who came here to the Bears, was supposed to be the guy that was supposed to make things happen, and he's been injured, his weight fluctuated, and James Allen has come on, I think, done an excellent job being the starting running back.
Very patient run there. Enos, so much promise coming out of Penn State, but his career average of only 3.28 is one of the worst for anybody in the NFL since 1950. Hardly his fault. He has been injured. Now playing out of position as a fullback. Oh, and this is incomplete because of Leroy Butler. He just decimated Cincinnati.
Well, Leroy Butler, if you're going to throw the ball over the middle, get the ball to your guy, Cincinnati, in a hurry. Look at Cincinnati. He's smiling, but I know inside he's hurting. Watch Leroy Butler, number 36, timing. Bang, bang.
That's what safeties live for.
Oh, man. You just don't want to hang them high down the middle, or else the defensive guys hang them high.
Matthews going deep, and there's nobody there because Marty Booker stopped at about 10 yards.
Okay, they all got to go to the sidelines and say, all right, let me tell you where these routes are and where you have to go with your routes, because obviously you guys aren't hearing what we're saying in the huddle. Look at this. On the outside, Marty Booker. He's going to stop there, and watch him look at the ball. Wow, isn't that pretty?
So often in a lot of offenses, when the defensive guy presses the wide receiver, it's supposed to turn into a fade. I'm almost thinking that's what Shane Matthews intended.
This one's tipped. Intended for Des White.
Nate Williams, number 54, the linebacker, just stuck his hand up and tipped the ball.
Gary Croton trying to come up with some plays, and I think he's challenged with plays not to be efficient in the offense, but try to find something that the guys are going to run that they understand.
If you're Shane Matthews now, aren't you afraid to throw the ball?
I think you just have to keep on trying to throw it in an area where they're supposed to be.
Aguiar to kick to Rossum. Pretty punt. And this one will go into the end zone.
He should get
first kick this year Louis Aguiar has had over 50 yards. That was 56. Butler and the Packers pounding them. Some of the Bears fans have left, but not this guy. In fact, he's waiting for a call to get down to the sideline and see a little action.
He's in full uniform, this guy.
Got everything. Favre on first down. Schrader juggling, catch out to the 40, but there's a marker down.
Complete to Schrader. Tackled by Thomas Smith. There is a flag on the play.
Got to be against the Packers.
This will come back.
Against the Packers.
Illegal formation. Number 65 on the offense is on the end of the line. That's a 5-yard penalty, still a first down.
Ask most assistant coaches in this league if they'd like to be a head coach, and they'll tell you, who do I have to kill? Not Mike Sherman. He was out in Seattle on Mike Holmgren's staff. He had moved from Green Bay for a year. He nearly turned this job down because his family was so important to them. They had moved all over the country, college and pro, and it was really a struggle for him to accept this job, and only after his family gave their approval did he decide to take it. I think that says an awful lot about the character of Mike Sherman and his priorities.
Well, Mike Holmgren said to Mike Sherman, they're going to offer you the Green Bay Packers job. He said, I don't want it. He just said, I don't want it. Then he thought about it when his family said it was okay, and then he came back the next day.
So Ron Wolf was supposed to call him the next day. Mike Sherman didn't want to answer the phone because he had not yet told Mike Holmgren he was going to take the job. finally someone said, I'll get him for you. I know he's here. And he took it. Far short step to Driver, up in the air and complete. Same pattern they threw to Schrader. This time it was Driver.
Donald Driver, number 80. Again, outside receiver. Little 7-yard quick post. Ball is perfectly thrown. Just winds up going nowhere. Jerry Azuma on the play, comes in, makes the hit. Manages to keep his arms from getting together.
Their veteran center, Frank Winters, is out with a strained bicep. Mike Flanagan has replaced him at center for Green Bay. 3rd and 14 for the Packers. Favre just wide of Freeman.
Now, there's a difference between the quarterback throwing the ball where a receiver is supposed to be and the receiver getting where he's supposed to be. He didn't make the catch, but at least he threw it at a guy in the same jersey.
Interesting concept, isn't it?
Yeah.
The Bears receivers have not distinguished themselves in this game.
Yeah, you don't know who to blame, but one thing for sure, they have not been on the same page.
Of course, they're missing Robinson tonight. They've missed Ingram all year. Milburn, fair catch, makes it to 48. 36-yard punt, no return. We have a timeout here at Soldier Field. 11:21 to go. Green Bay running away with it. Cade McNown, who has been sidelined with a bad throwing shoulder, had a separated shoulder, should be ready soon. And I'd be really surprised if he was not back in the starting lineup.
Well, they said 2 weeks, but I talked to him on the field before the game. He says, I feel 100%. I'm ready to go. So I'm thinking he may give it a shot next week.
Allen, gaping hole up the middle. And he'll reach the Packers 31.
Well, this is better than throwing the ball. Even though you question why they're running the ball with 11 minutes to go, but it's a lot better than trying to throw the ball because James Allen, look at here, the ump can. You see the hole? Isn't that beautiful? Oh, right up in the middle, and James Allen gets in the secondary. He's down to the 30-yard line.
Allen is on a pace for over 1,120 yards. That would be the most anybody's had since Neil Anderson in 1989. Matthews has been betrayed tonight by some guys not running the patterns that at least he thought they were supposed to.
And they're still moving in a hurry-up offense, which is good pace to it.
The Bears have been in Packer territory 6 times tonight. They have 1 field goal to show for it. Allen again, nowhere to go. Leroy Butler again on the stop. Let's go to Solomon Wilcox.
Yeah, Mike, after fumbling the ball 3 times last week against the Jets, James Allen was so inconsolable after the game. His teammate James Fitcat Williams had to tell Allen, hey, you never let the other team see you get down. After he fumbled the ball, of course, when the game was over, running back from the Jets, Curtis Martin, and he came over, gave him some advice. He says the #1 priority is to hold on to the football. Even before you're trying to reach for an extra yard or break a tackle, you want to hold on to the football. But Curtis Martin certainly complimented him on having a good game last week, Mike.
He's a pretty good player, Solomon. He has 80 yards rushing the night before that carry. He had 122 a week ago, and the fans really venting their anger right now on a draw call on 3rd and long.
Well, they're upset because they're not throwing the ball, but I'm going to tell you something. Every time Matthews threw the ball, there wasn't a guy where they were supposed to be. So what else are you going to do? And then you're going to kick a field goal at 28-3 with 9 minutes and a half to go? I don't think so.
Wellinger will try it from 46.
Well, they don't have enough guys on the field, the Bears. They're missing the guy. They got 10 guys on the field. They don't have anybody on the left wing.
And now they're going to have to use the timeout. Aguiar, the punter, was counting to 11 and couldn't get there.
Well, the big problem is Jim Flanagan is the guy on the end of the line, and he looked to see if there was anybody to his left, and he said there's nobody there. Go. Now we have somebody.
And when it goes bad,
Brian Robinson,
goes bad.
Number 98.
Keith Armstrong, special teams coach.
Green Bay has been on top since the beginning. Amon Green made it 7-0. And then Favre rifled one caught by Antonio Freeman. Green again to make it 21, and then the pick by Williams hit him right in the chest, and it's 28-3. Edinger, who hit one earlier, will try a 46-yarder. And it's good. That is a derisive round of applause from the Chicago audience.
I don't even understand that call. I mean, I just don't even understand it.
ESPN Sunday Night Football is brought to you by Quick and Riley, a Fleet Boston financial company. By Lee Dungarees, Buddy Lee tested, Buddy Lee approved. And by Radio Shack, you've got questions, we've got answers. The Bears have very few answers for the Green Bay Packers tonight. The Packers well on their way to picking up a 6th victory on the season and keeping their slimmest playoff hopes alive.
Now, this is why they kicked the field goal, so the flag guy can come out and earn his money. That's his job when they score, to get in the end zone and carry that big old flag around. I like to see that on your resume. And what do? I carry the flag at the Chicago games when they score.
Oh, and look, there's another one, a blue one. Oh, a bear does it.
Wearing a Doug Plank jersey.
And I'm going to tell you something. As we were walking in, I saw this guy by the trucks downstairs, and he said, "Hey, Paul."
He knows you?
Oh, yeah, I know everybody.
Hey, all of these guys know Paul.
This guy. These are all friends of mine.
Now, the Bears looking like they're going to try an onside kick, which makes the field goal call even stranger. They go for the onside kick, and they've got it. Macy Brooks, the wide receiver, that time at least, right where a wide receiver was supposed to be.
Now just remember, this ball has to go 10 yards, travel 10 yards. The Packers can come up and get it, but the Bears can't. Look at this ball. Now he leaps before the 10 yards, but he catches it on the other side.
Yeah, but look at the job the front line does. The 4 guys up front, Brian Urlacher, one of them, goes up. They block the Green Bay Packers out of the way so that he can go up and make a play.
Matthews will now go to the shotgun. 9:01 to go in the game. They're down 3 scores. Right in the hands of Eddie Kennison, and he couldn't hold it.
Well, the first play of the game, they went a little play action, tried to throw a crossing route to Eddie Kennison. He dropped it. This one here was a little out route. He dropped it.
Well, they haven't thrown to him in 2.5 hours.
Kennison is one of the fastest guys in the NFL. They have been using him in place of Bobby Ingram, so he runs a lot of short routes, underneath stuff. Same play. Kennison makes the catch this time at the 47. His first catch of the night.
All right. Now they're moving it.
You got to believe we're in 4-down territory.
Why would you believe that? I believe they may run another draw. I mean, how are you going to guess what they're going to run?
I just have the feeling.
Well, you look back at the field goal. They needed a score to get them within 3. Might as well get it then. Matthews complete. Kennison with his second straight catch, still on his feet to the Packer 40. Good effort by Eddie Kennison.
Now, if you're the Packers defensively, I think, Ed Donatel, the defensive coach, you lay back in that zone, you're going to get chewed up by 5 wide receivers. I don't think you can just sit back. You're going to have to come after him sooner or later.
They'll whistle this one dead.
Ball start. Illegal snap on the center, number 60. That's a 5-yard penalty, first down.
Casey Wegman hit with a penalty.
Eddie Kennison making the move against Todd McBride. Now look at the effort after. Protects it and then winds up with a lot more yards. Little out route, spinning, hitting, still manages to pick up more yards.
Matthews has another one complete down to the 40. The tackle by Mike McKenzie on Des White.
This happens to be a style of offense that Shane Matthews is very comfortable with, and I'm surprised that they didn't get to it sooner in the game.
Matthews pressured, and down he goes. That's a sack for Billy Lyon.
They did this. Billy Lyon gets a sack on a three-man rush.
7 on the sack. 3rd and 17 as the Packers.
Casey Wegman is the center, number 60 on Billy Lyon. He's blocking him one-on-one, and just Shane Matthews sees a place I might have to run up and throw the ball. But Billy Lyon makes the play. Flag.
Looks like a free play. Ball's loose. Now they say incomplete.
Matthews pass to Marty Booker, incomplete. Back on the play.
Booker got his hands on it but couldn't hold it.
Legal shift. Number 20, James Allen.
You're right on top of this here.
Oh, man.
You're just like, you
know, I can read lips.
You're one step ahead.
Illegal shift. 20 offense never got set. That penalty is declined. 4th down.
Trust me, Joe, I'm watching his lips as the guy's still.
See it? I don't believe that. I think you're that good.
No.
Dick Duran's not liking what he's seeing.
4th and 17. They'll go for it. 7:13 to go in the game. They need 3 touchdowns. Packers come with a 4-man rush. Matthews. Incomplete. Rossum with excellent coverage on Macy Brooks. And the Bears turn it over on downs.
The ball goes over on downs to the Packers.
The Bears have struggled during the 90s. One of the reasons is they simply don't have enough talent on this ball club. And one of the reasons for that is they have not drafted well at all. They have had one player in the 90s who was drafted that represented them in the Pro Bowl. That's Mark Carrier. In the decade of the 80s, they had a dozen. That's why they had tremendous teams in the 80s.
And then on top of that, you get all of the people hurt that they got hurt.
Absolutely.
And again, you said it before, there's no room for backup people. You don't have any money because of the cap.
Amon Green following Henderson.
And I'll take it forward a couple more years. You're committed to a young quarterback in Cade McNown. So you know there's going to be a growth process. Mark Hadley has got to get out and get really his quarterback up to speed. I think the success of this franchise next year rests squarely on the shoulders of his young quarterback. How well he performs will allow the other people to do their job better.
I think one of the other things that has hurt Cade McNown, he did not get off on the right foot in a public relations way with the Chicago fans or with his teammates. Green. But I think Cade McNown in the long run is going to succeed. I think he has enough talent to play and play well in this league. They would like to have a lot more talent when they open the new Soldier Field in 2003. It will be built on this site, leaving the columns and the facade of the stadium. And that's a beautiful rendering.
The colonnades are a part of Soldier Field. They want to make sure they keep them up. As a matter of fact, the league basically has agreed that the Bears will play their last 2 games of the season away, so they'll get started on it by mid-December next year.
Favre intended for Freeman, couldn't hold it. Great throw by Favre right through his hands. Jerry Azuma was a half step behind.
Boy, excuse me, but Freeman, this ball, just about how well Favre can throw the ball. Azuma is cover number 23. There's Freeman. Watch where the ball lands, right? Hit him in the hands. He should have caught it.
You know something? I think Jerry Azuma just manages to get his hand in. Watch this. Nope.
No, he did not.
He did not. It went right through. It looked like the first shot he might have got his hands in.
Bidwell will punt it away. Silver makes the Lake Faircheck sign at the 19. Monday Night Countdown tomorrow night at 7:30 Eastern. Mike Tirico and the gang review Sunday's top stories and preview the Monday night matchup. Then at 9, it's ABC's Monday Night Football with the Kansas City Chiefs taking on Drew Bledsoe and the New England Patriots.
it, Paul.
Oh, man, I love it.
Go,
Don't
Paul.
you love it?
Go, Paul. Look at the lights. Wow.
You got to love Chicago, and then Christmas time in Chicago. I am so glad that my wife is not here to be able to shop.
Matthews now under pressure, goes underneath to Allen. Flipped a couple of tackles, no quit in Allen. He's up to the 30.
Boy, I'll tell you, this guy, James Allen, you know, all night long, you're right. Every time he's touched the ball, he's made some things happen. Unfortunately, he's been doing it all by himself.
You learn an awful lot about a guy when things aren't going well, and you're learning this guy really, really loves to play the game.
McDown throws to Centino, complete up to the 37. Excuse me, Matthews.
Gain of 7, second and 3 at the Bears 37.
Clock now the biggest enemy for the Bears, down 22 points, under 5 minutes to go.
Mike, it was the biggest enemy when the fourth quarter started.
It sure was. Kennison makes another catch. There's some stories you see about players in the National Football League that just amaze you. Leroy Butler is one of them. He was born so badly pigeon-toed that the doctors had to break the bones in his feet. He then spent most of his first 8 years in braces and wheelchairs. Intercepted by Sharper. Then came a day for Leroy Butler when his sister Vicky accidentally collided with his wheelchair. He was knocked out. He got up and ran. It's Forrest Gump, except this was real. And then he told his mother, I want to be a pro football player. It's amazing.
Darren Sharper just laying back in the zone. Everybody's looking at Shane Matthews. Sharper just sees the ball, goes back, tries to get it into Kennison. Too many players and not enough holes to throw it into.
7 interceptions for Sharper this year. And Matt Hasselbeck will come in to play quarterback for Favre. Those 7 picks, the most by a Packer since 1986. And Sharper has become more and more of a part of this defense. That's a pretty good safety
And there's 2 other guys in the league, Kurt Schultz and Samari Wool, that have 7 coming into today's game.
And Schultz has been injured a couple of games this year. It's a remarkable number for him. Hasselbeck with a big future. A lot of people like what he brings to the table here. Puts in a lot of extra work, knowing he's not going to get a lot of work on the field with Brett Favre at the controls. A guy who started 138 straight games, you don't expect to play much.
Go back to 94. When you think of people behind Favre. 94, Mike Holmgren had Brett Favre, Mark Brunell, and Kurt Warner as his 3 quarterbacks. And he had 3 assistants on his coaching staff, John Gruden, Andy Reid, and Steve Mariucci.
And now the only one that's left is Brett Favre.
That's right. Everybody else has gone on and done quite well.
There are a lot of Holmgren disciples around this league. And a lot of Favre fans.
When you look at Favre, he's entertaining everybody on the sidelines. We talked to him yesterday, and I'll tell you, excuse me, he is one of the most entertaining people you ever want to talk to.
Well, the other thing he said, there's only been 1 game where he's been able to do this, enjoy it at the end, instead of trying to make a comeback victory. That was the Arizona game.
These overhead shots of Chicago provided by the Southwest Airlines aerial cam. Thanks for them being with us tonight. And thank you for joining us from Chicago on this first Sunday night in December.
In our 3rd one this week. We're glad you've been with us for all 3.
3rd and 3 for Green Bay. Buys himself some time. And now we'll have to eat it. Culpepper on top of it. Here's Brett Favre reflecting on Green Bay's past successes and their current pains.
I realize how hard it is to get to the top, and I appreciate the losses just as much as the wins. And you have to, because they're all a part of, it's all part of life. And especially in football, in order to enjoy the highs, you have to experience the lows and understand them. And I've had my share of both.
course, Brett's one of those guys who changed his lifestyle and has really benefited him. Bidwell to kick it away as the Bears put pressure on him but can't get there. Their catch signal made at the 19-yard line. Bears have used all of their timeouts, so they can't stop it anymore with 3:13 to go.
The Chicago Bears, the AAA Chicago Motor Club.
Favre in December, the best completion percentage of anyone in NFL history, 63.8%. That's remarkable considering the weather conditions he plays in not only at home but in the NFC Central.
Well, how about this? 23-9 in December, fourth best for any quarterback since the merger. And do you know who's up in there with him?
Who would that be?
Joey Montana.
Right,
Joe Montana. 33. No, Joe Theismann, 17-5.
He had a pretty good run there in Washington.
Allen on the string. Fighting for extra yards out to the 47. I'll tell you another reason for those great December records. Guys that play well in big games.
I also think, too, you practice in it. You don't practice in a dome when the weather gets bad. I think you get hardened towards the weather. He talked about playing in cold weather. It becomes a mental state.
Matthews, Des White makes the catch down to the 39. Matthews is a guy who was lucky to be here. In fact, he feels he was lucky to be alive. He had hernia surgery, developed a bacterial infection. They eventually cut a hole in his abdomen the size of a baseball that was left open for 3 months so it could drain and be treated with antibiotics. It was just a remarkable story. Lost 25 pounds. Allen again. 10 catches for Allen tonight as we approach the 2-minute warning. Allen's shown me a lot tonight. This kid is tough and he can play. We've reached the 2-minute warning. 28-6 Green Bay. He's the one that told me he was underpaid. 28-6 Packers. 2 minutes to go in the ball game. Yes, it is, but not yet. Shane Matthews has them at the Green Bay 39. Blitz coming. Screen. Allen. Allen approaching 100 yards receiving on the night. He has 80 rushing. He has been the Bears' offense.
I like the way he accelerates once he gets his hands on the ball. He sets himself low, finds a hole, and then just takes off.
Bears can no longer stop the clock. Matthews throws this one complete in the vicinity with Des White. And it will be 4th and a yard.
Well, James Allen, after tonight, will forget about the 3 fumbles last week. I can assure you that. I mean, it's just the way this young man bounced back this week and played. And you're right, he has been their entire offense.
And boy, was he excited this weekend about Oklahoma having a chance to run the table, and they went to 12-0.
Some great bowls coming up. Some really, really good football teams.
Matthews to White would have been a first down, and he dropped it. Shane Matthews can sue for non-support tonight.
Exactly. And I tell you, when Joe said there's some great bowls coming up.
Notre Dame's in the bowl, right?
No. Why did you have to mention it? That's what he wanted you to do. Watch it, Notre Dame.
Look at this, guys. He just can't hold on. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt your conversation. Shane Matthews gets it out in a hurry. Des White. I mean, we have seen more balls just bounce off of Chicago Bear receivers. Eddie Kinnison has dropped some. Des White, look at it this way. At least he was in an area where Shane Matthews could get him the ball.
Well, it was only a 1-yard hitch. It was tough to miss on that one. 4th straight game that the Bears have scored 13 or fewer points. Their worst streak since 1975, when the great Walter Payton was a rookie. And the offense obviously just not doing anything for Chicago.
You know what? I don't think, did you read one positive stat for Chicago tonight?
Just for James Allen.
Even like in the past.
Let me sprinkle one more in here.
Oh, go ahead. Throw it up.
18 quarters of football, they scored one offensive touchdown.
And those are the kind of stats you get when you're 3-10, which they will be in a minute and 5 seconds. Mike Sherman has his team back to within one game of 500. Mathematically, they're still alive for the playoffs, but that's about it, mathematically.
And Dick Jauron will hopefully get his young quarterback back and start planning for next year.
Here are the NFC teams in the hunt for the playoffs. Minnesota with a sparkling 11-2 record. If the playoffs ended tonight, those top 6 teams would be in it. St. Louis, the defending champions, would be out at 8-5. How did St. Louis score 3 points? The Redskins now at 7-6 have to get by a couple of teams. Carolina and Green Bay, as we said, mathematically alive at 6-7.
That was a clean sweep for Carolina because we did the game.
It was
in St. Louis when St. Louis lost to Carolina.
Tough night for Dick Jauron, a big night for Leroy Butler, Brett Favre and company as they come in here and win it in the 160th renewal of this great rivalry. Our final score, Green Bay 28, Chicago 6. SportsCenter's next with all the news, scores, and highlights. For Joe Theismann, Paul McGuire, Solomon Wilcox, and our entire